Before we begin proceedings, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land on which we live and learn, the Gadiel people of the Eora Nation. We recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Their world is full of music, dance, rich stories and songlines. As we share tonight what we have learnt through the exhibition process, may we also learn from their expression of the world's oldest living culture.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters.
Ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of these does not know what the hand of the Lord has done? In his hand is the life of every creature, and the breath of all mankind.
Forever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see his invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God.
As human beings, we are witnesses to the creative genius of God. The stars, the planets, the earth, teeming with life and majesty. We cannot help but see in all things God's creative hand, ever present.
It is therefore fitting tonight that Year 6 students of 2019 celebrate the culmination of their primary school learning. With this year's theme, How We Express Ourselves. Here in the Trinity War Memorial Chapel, it is a place built and crafted by creative hands, painted by famous artists such as Lloyd Rees, and where musicians and voices lift each week in expressive worship of a God who has made us in his image, as uniquely creative beings. The primary years program exhibition is a culmination of a 6-week learning cycle that has been focused on helping us to begin to discover some of our hidden potential, passion and purpose in life. Following our performance, you will be invited to view and hear the work and learning of Year 6 students, some of which may point to what becomes for us a lifelong passion.
The PYP exhibition is not just an event. It is conceived as a pivotal moment in our primary school education, where we may begin to discover what we really love and are interested in. And it's not just a celebration of what we have learned, but even more, what we have become and are becoming as people. More curious, more courageous, more knowledgeable, and more open-minded. At Trinity, we value not just the development of knowledge, but the development of our characters. This evening, we will show what we have discovered about the world through artistic, scientific, medical, engineering, and other fields. Through our inquiry questions, we have developed a sense of what impact certain actions and ways of expressing oneself can make on the world.
We have chosen to begin the evening with our interpretation of a picture book written by Nadia Wheatley and illustrated by Matt Oatley. Luke's Way of Looking acknowledges the value of our unique perspectives and of finding the courage to express ourselves and our hidden talents and passions. In this performance, you will see the boys of Year 6 expressing themselves through movement, drama, music, and song. Enjoy.
All the boys in Mr. Barraclough's class saw things the same way, except for Luke, who looked at things differently. Every Friday afternoon in art class, Luke got into trouble. When Mr. Baraklov told the class to paint a portrait, Luke put the nose and ears in the wrong place. When Mr. Baraklov told the class to paint an apple, some of the boys did green apples and some of the boys did red ones, but Luke chose another color entirely. Even the other boys thought that Luke was weird. Whenever Mr. Baraklov saw one of Luke's pictures, he went off his brain. Luke didn't know, so he said nothing. One Friday, Mr. Baraklov told the class to paint what they saw through the window. Luke used his imagination. When Mr. Baraklov saw what Luke had done, he went ballistic. He screamed at Luke. He tore up the painting. He broke Luke's brushes into little tiny pieces. Luke didn't know, so he said nothing. That just made Mr. Baraklov even more wild. The next Friday morning, on the way to school, Luke turned right instead of left on the corner of Homer Street and hopped on the first bus that came along. Luke stayed on the bus till he saw a building that looked like an ancient palace. There weren't any guards at the door, so Luke went in. As he entered, Luke thought he would burst with happiness. He felt as if he had entered a whole new world. Luke had spent a full day there. He was happy, and for once, he saw things that looked right, not like the things Mr. Baraklov made him draw. He found himself flying out into the sunshine. A bus to Homer Street was waiting for him. Luke sat in his favourite window seat. As he made his way back, everything seemed to have changed. When Luke got back to school, he was excited. Everything looked different and more exciting than he could have ever imagined. Friday afternoon was starting.
This afternoon, boys, we're going to paint this watermelon.
Luke just smiled. When Mr. Baraklov saw what Luke had done, he didn't know what to say, so he said nothing.
I can see clear